Major road reconstruction project is getting ready to start in northeast Missouri. New this morning, starting next Monday, August 5th, MoDOT will begin work to raise the highway 2.5 feet. The 1.3-mile long stretch of US 61 is just south of the Iowa border near the town of Alexandria, Missouri, and it's known to flood. The project has been delayed a couple of weeks due to recent high river levels. MoDOT officials say when they're choosing how high to raise the road, they wanted to make sure that drivers could access all of the businesses along the road.
We did calculations for several different elevation changes, and that was a good balance in getting the road to flood not nearly as often, but still allowing that access. Like I said, it would have made the entrances and the driveways too steep if we would have tried to raise the road more than that.
The project cost more than $5 million and will also include new culvert pipes and drainage work. It is expected to be complete by November. A new energy facility